Okay, so we're on part 4 of this series. Quickly trying to see if I can get a armor and helm upgrade from the Cronley guys, but it's not looking promising. Literally the worst possible roll. This does not get worse, but and we did get an ascended cask, but other than armor, it's just a downgrade in every single conceivable way. And the ascended shoulder plates are a DPS loss for us, so that's just straight up out. Alright, and we'll do a quick run outside of Cronley's lair as well. So, I mean, we do want to get gear upgrades where we can, so it's worth at least a run at the start of the stream. So, I mean, we definitely need it before we go to Ultimate. Incendiary cask, not what we need. Usually there are more Cronley elites, but not this time. I think we're kind of running out of real estate. But yeah, alright. So we'll at least get a couple more shrines and start leveling up. We get a little higher level, we'll go back and maybe reset and try Cronley's Lair again. We'll just grab these items, get some iron for them at least. And since this is a fresh start, we have to do Voldrak on Elite, so that's potentially a little bit spicy. I mean, one known strategy for Voldrak is to just pop a cluster and see if you can kill him in 8 seconds. We also have access to a mirror, so that gives us 11 seconds to kill Voldrak. We'll drop a portal here, go out, get the next rift gate. Talk to Minova. Yeah, while we're down here, we'll find the other 2 lecterns. One nice thing about the Cronley dungeon, especially on a fresh account, is you do pick up dynamites. So we're up to 17 now, which is not horrible. So you can talk to this person, Elsa, who was traveling with Mornay, and you can tell Mornay she's alive. And if you want to be evil, you can tell Mornay to go after her, and you'll find his corpse. Otherwise, you just tell him, back off, man, she really doesn't want anything to do with you. I usually don't even bother talking to her since you don't get any quest XP for it, but just a useful thing to know just in case you care about the lore. Okay, so this is going to get us a bunch of flat damage as well as a lot of leech. One more will get this, which gives us reduced targets damage when we're hit. this is a really nice node as well for more damage, and then we take these two for the 5% away. So yeah, the other strategy you can use with Voldrak, I mean, you can just trust yourself to dodge everything perfectly, but if you don't have to do that, why bother? But yeah, the other strategy, if you don't want to use a cluster, is to just engage around Mirror being up. That'll take a little bit longer, though. Yeah, don't get hit by that. So we are going to go cluster. 3, 2, 1. Mirror. 3, 2, 1. Yep. So yeah, cluster plus mirror. We kill them in time. And you know, you run Mammoth on normal, you're going to end up with 4 or 5 Aether clusters. You'll get another 4 or 5 on Elite and on Ultimate, so they're not exactly in short supply. And it's reasonable to use something like a cluster to just get past Voldrak more easily. Especially on a build that engages in melee. If you're a range build or a caster, you can just kite a lot more.
Well, if it isn't by I haven't been entire. I came up.
Okay, so we'll put Ugal. Let's not die in the devotion screen. We were fine, but here comes another guy. I just want to let me apply my devotion. Okay. Yeah, this is going to go on. We'll put on Star Pack, just a buff that's always up. There we go. So Dahlia's here. We need to find a way to get into that area. Don't have to kill the boss, just have to click on the corpse, but yeah, not boss doesn't drop an MI that we care about, so we're just going to move on. So we're dropping a portal here. We're going to go to Homestead, get that Rift Gate, and then we can come back and clear the way to the Pine Barrens. Hey, welcome in, Morndale. How's it going? Okay, 2 crescent moons in one run. That's kind of unlikely. Yeah, pretty good. We're getting the Spellbreaker slowly. 1 minute PR, nice. I mean, I feel like at that point you're so optimized that there's not a lot you can do. So PRs are going to be harder and harder to come by. Because I'd be shocked if you have any real inefficiency in your leveling game at this point. Still have some theories on the board for more efficiency. I mean, at some point, playing the game is going to take a certain amount of time, but... Alright, so we can go back and tell Ulgrim to get the Homestead.
So how good was...
These are...
Alright.
I wasn't sure. I wish that I'm going to check.
I'll skip the play. The Legion is split on...
Hey, welcome in, Meatball. let's push Nightblade. Yeah, we're almost to Execution, Nightfall, Blade Spirits, all that good stuff. Vindicator is still alive at level 99. Very nice. Try not to join Club 99. Alright, so we'll do Pine Barrens. Just the first 4 quests. We'll skip Blood Feast. Get a Manticore Poison Gland. Sometimes they drop early, sometimes you have to kill everything on the map and don't have much luck. Well, we have 2 Manticore Eyes now. We might get lucky and get a third one, in which case we can. Well, we still can't use the relic because we need the elemental res from the crappy relic. 30 runs before you start to get anything. Yeah, yikes, that's pretty bad. I find I tend to have better luck in Ancient Grove. I don't know if that's based on anything or just anecdotal. Well, it was worth a shot to see if we got a Manticore Eye there. No such luck. So we're looking for the cave that's not marked on the map. There it is. What's up, Master Halls? Welcome in. Spellbreaker's moving along. I'm actually kind of tempted to move down to normal to do the Elena quest to actually get a good amulet that's useful for me. So we got honored with Devil's Crossing on Elite, and you need honored to get the Elena quest from Kasparov. It seems like something that's probably worth doing, because that is most likely the amulet we use for endgame unless we play SR set. Three out of 4 low car pieces. Good luck with 4 out of 4. I mean, they're all theoretically equal drop chances, which means when you only have one you need, it could take you 10 times, or you could get it on the next run. Okay, so soon we're going to be able to get Nightfall, Blade Spirits, and Execution. And once we start getting plus points to Nightblade, that's just going to make this even better. Alright, we might as well turn in these homestead quests, and then I am going to go to normal, and we're going to farm Elena.
There you are. Come, come. I have something that was nearly a century ago. A man...
Farming for the Runebinder set does not sound like the most fun. Been a minute, but I want to say we're supposed to go through here. Haven't had to farm this in a while. Yep. Yeah, it's a cool weapon. Alright, Elena. Wanderers of Alacrity. We are definitely going to continue because that's pure garbage. What on earth is Vizrez? Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, the only thing that runic bolts actually is something I kind of want to play around at some point. Just not even bothering with the rune binder set. Just use the weapon ability. This is one of those bosses that makes me glad that you get 100% drop rates on MIs from bosses. Shield of Arcane Balance. So look, we could do a couple more. Shield of Arcane Balance isn't bad. It does fix our elemental res problem. It does give us more damage. I'm kind of hoping we can get something that's a little more defensive that gives us some good resistances, because especially once we go to ultimate, we're going to lose another 25%. Top to bottom. Crushing of Ruin. You've got to be kidding me on that drop. Alright. Obviously, you know, the perfect roll for endgame is a lot more important, but leveling, I want decent resists. I mean, failing decent resists, I guess we take damage and then try to go to more defensive on other gear. We have an okay-ish one already, but if I can get something that's very solidly defensive, that'll make me happy. So we'll do this, maybe 1 or 2 more runs after this. I feel like the Elena's necklace is sort of a, to me at least, it's a game-defining, or for leveling, it's a build-defining kind of MI, because it gives, for a Spellbreaker, it gives plus to Nightblade. It gives health to Star Pact, Chill of Mending, that's worse than Chill of Arcane Balance. Let's find... Now finding where it dropped in the inventory is a bit of a challenge. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Chill of Arcane Balance gives us Flat Cold, Elemental Bleeding Res, plus the Star Pact, plus 1 to Nightblade, Cold Damage to Veil of Shadow, Frostburn to Star Pact, and 8% health to Star Pact. We lose Pierce Res, which means we'll be a little under on Pierce Res. It does fix our Elemental Res, though. I just saw your message, Sparrow, with the second side tab. Thanks. Sometimes I just have a blind spot for some random thing in my inventory that I'm looking for, because you see everything else, and... Alright, yeah, I think this is going to probably be it. Maybe we'll do a quick Sylvaria run to try to get a living ring with some decent resistances. I mean, inventory and Grim Dawn's still better than PoE, at least. Oh, that's kind of damning with faint praise. PoE is like, we want you to suffer like you did when you played D2, going back to town, 3 times in one oversized map. Sundered, but it's normal. Who cares? Aggressive of the Aether. All right. Enough's enough. I'm not. I did say we do a quick run to see if we get a living ring. All right, we'll do 1 Sylvaria run, and then we're going back to Elite to continue to progress and level. So we go south of Barrowhome. Check one spot, then go kind of east and a little south. And if it's not in those two, then we know it's north of Ugdenbog by where Laria is. Okay, so it's not here. We'll kill the plants along the way, though, because they could drop a living ring. Grab a few more blooms. We'll go south here. Yeah, there's usually more plants. I mean, if we're truly desperate, we could go into the Ancient Grove, actually use a skeleton key, but I don't want to do that. I also don't want to spend iron when I don't have a ton of it. But generally, on a fresh start, I think if you can farm it, you're better off doing that, unless it's a specific item you really need. It's going to immediately make a big difference. Another vine ring. Unfortunate. Alright. So, yeah, Shield of Arcane Balance is the one we're going to take. We're going to put this on. Pierce Res goes down to 76. That's not ideal, but I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. This also gives us elemental resist that we need, which is huge. Because if we wanted to, we could get rid of this equilibrium and get a real relic. Barely, but... Okay, so we're going to take the black tallow off of this amulet. Fix our Chaos Res. Upgrading our belt is also going to be a priority. So this is going to require a glacier, silver core. Oh, this also requires 3 manticore eyes, so we can't craft it yet. I suppose we can do a quick Pine Barrens Megara run See if we get lucky with a Manticore Eye. So we do have 2. Another thing we can do, we really want to upgrade our belt. And the gargoyle belt with +1 Nightblade is probably the ideal, but those tend to be a little bit annoying to farm. Alright, no Manticore Eye. A quick run around, see if I find any Manticore Elites. Because they're the ones who are most likely to have a drop. And yeah, failing that, we'll just continue to move on. Oh, Manticore Eye. Look at that. Alright, so we have 3 Manticore Eyes now, which means we can craft a higher tier relic. Death Chill would be a very decent boost to damage. Slaughter is, however, going to give us +1 to Nightblade. It's also going to give us, if we want to use it, an additional ability we can put on our bar. This Bloodbath ability. So we need a Guile. That's okay, 6. And we need Slaughter. Alright. Now we can get rid of this absolute garbage relic, and we can also talk to the spirit guide and see if we've freed up. So this we want on an even number, because if this goes 14 to 15, doesn't give us any additional cooldown, so it's not worth that much for us. Dual blades, we are fine just having this soft capped. The percent, like the pierce, it does convert, but it's not as critical, I don't think. And so we now have a little more in all of these other areas, which is nice for us. And we can put 1 point in Nightfall, which will give us 6 points. This gives more AoE to Shadow Strike, 1 point in Blade Spirits, which we'll use to proc Devotions. And we'll start filling in these weapon pool skills kind of to use. We'll use them when we're not Shadow Striking. So what we'll do, we will put Blizzard on Blade Spirits. I think we'll put this on Execution. Yeah, Rumor on Shadow Strike still is fine. Yeah, our DPS is shot up to 49k, which is pretty good. Chaos Res suffering a little bit. But we will eventually fix our Chaos Res. And even after all this crafting we did, we still have about 400k iron, so we can vendor farm for a level 52 spectral longsword as well, which will give us a bit of a damage boost. So yeah, getting the Elena necklace and the relic upgrade are both pretty big for our build. Another thing we're going to start on is using Lethal Assault to buff our attacks. And now that we have this Bloodbath ability, we're going to put it on our bar. Okay. I mean, this belt, weirdly enough, I mean, we lose Nidal's justifiable ends points, but the resistances are a big improvement. I kind of want to see if we can hold out for something better, but yeah, that seems reasonable for demo. I tend to just do the Zarthus Ellen book, but okay, so this final devotion point is going to get us OA and Chaos Res. And see Gallus. See if he wants to drop us anything worthwhile. Shroud of Blight. I mean, we'll pick it up, but I'm unlikely to use it. Feels safer, you mean in terms of being able to get the equipment and not have to fight Zarthuzelin? Yeah, I can see why you do that on a fresh start, especially, but I tend to have a lot of low-level MIs. So if you have them already in the stash, it's less of an issue. Yeah, okay. Then yeah, I get why you would why you'd go that approach. I mean, I do think the Zarthuzelin, if you have access to the book, it's better, but it is riskier to get, and he is a bit of a sketchy boss, especially for SSF. Mandates, merits, no stash, no low car. Okay, so like gear you find, but still still having access to some of the QOL stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Is that with low car and XP pots, or? Yeah, you do all the lore notes, which gets you to level 16. You do the shrine in the reanimator cave, that gets you to 19, and then you turn in the quest, the initial quest, low car. You talk to Kasparov and Barnabas. You rescue Faldis. You confront Dureni. You talk to the gate guard, and you talk to Sedina. That should get you to 33. They do, but it's not really a problem. I mean, especially if you're using low car, you can use Bristly Furs with your low car set, and you'll have 800 HP.
My scouts have reported back.
Just the person up there are two up. The one you call.
Yeah, that's actually something I saw Max doing, and I kind of started thinking, well, look, I'm typically not going to have problems dying on at level 1, but why not just take the extra 350 or whatever HP? There's no downside, especially you're gonna have if you have multiple low car sets.
May this
You have 0 low car sets, Viley, but you also don't like using it, so. Very, very nice, Omega. Yeah, 5 is pretty good RNG. Welcome back, Morndale. No Alchemos in 25 tries. That seems unlikely. I mean, I don't mean that as in a I doubt you. I mean that seems pretty rare. One more in Star Pact, and if we put some more points in Phantasmal Armor, that'll slowly fix our Pierce Res. Oh, by the way, Morndale, I was meaning to ask you earlier. When you do your leveling, where do you typically end up with faction rep? Because I know there's often a trade-off between how fast you hit 94 and how much stuff you skip along the way to kind of get there faster and then have to make up on the back end. All right, let's see if they want to. If this boss wants to drop me a spectral longsword. Rune carved spectral battle axe of alacrity. Nope. Yeah, I only activate Forgotten Gods to get some shrines. But yeah, I do. I typically do Malmoth on normal and elite. You just clearly do that much faster. Interesting. Yeah, I can see them not being super efficient from an XP perspective. I typically still do them just because of Shrine, but you get enough shrines along the way that I suppose you don't have to. Dar. So this shrine I'm skipping because I don't want to spend a seal of binding on a fresh start account. And I also have 55 already. Let's find the prisoners. Well, Bolvar is very sketchy, potentially. But we dealt with them just fine. Okay, here are the prisoners. One more Legion insignia. Let's see if the vendor here wants to sell us a decent Spectral Longsword upgrade. Eldritch of Frostbite. I mean, it's a garbage roll. We're obviously not going to buy that. We might come back and vendor farm him. So yeah, this is level 35, and it's Stanching of Readiness. I think almost anything would be better than this. This is bad impervious, so it's just pierce and random cold res. It's also a lower level item, so we want to be upgrading these, but we just haven't found a single item to drop that's better. But yeah, ideally we'll get more armor. Yeah, vendors can still drop triple rares. They nerfed that on all but the first run in each playthrough for the season, but yeah, in vanilla you can shop vendors until they give you something good. Of course, some of the vendors can also troll you by giving you a level 92 item. You get this perfect triple rare, and then you look and see it's 92, which means it's an 84 base. Yeah, that's true, and I think also, depending on the item, with bosses now guaranteed to drop them, and seeming to have a slightly better loot table in terms of affixes, more likely to get a rare affix, for example, I'd say that overall you want to be farming. But you know, sometimes you just need an upgrade and you don't want to wait for it to drop. Like leveling, having to deal with farming while leveling is a bit annoying. Farming in endgame is kind of fine. Okay. So bloodletters of attack, like this good OA. When we hit level 60, I think maybe we'll try to farm for upgrade on our Dreek pants. We might do that on normal because there's no real reason to farm it on elite if the boss can drop level 60, which I think they scale up that high. Bloodletters was giving us chaos res, which we still kind of need, but I'm not sure 14% chaos res is worth keeping the armor of a level 30 pair of pants. So, if you're playing a pet build, this is pretty much the perfect role for a beast caller, a pet conjurer. Welcome in, Taylor. Yeah, this is a. I'm going to pick it up if I do end up doing my one pet build on hardcore. I might. I'll probably use it for leveling from 35 to 94. Yeah, we'll see. I might do a couple more of these fresh start knife blades. Then I have some other builds to finish. $11K HP at level 84. That's not ideal now. I mean, Pyro does tend to be a little bit lower on HP in general because you're not really getting health from a cultist or demo. But that does mean you kind of have to deliberately try to get yourself some health somewhere. That is absolutely terrifying to me. 10k HP at level 90. And farming Halberd with 13. I mean, look, not saying it's not doable, especially if you're a good pilot, because it absolutely is. But I like my security blanket of having excessive amounts of HP. Just feels better.
I am told that when the Legion was forced to abandon. Let's see. I've already.
I heard you're here. When the
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to how you feel about margin of safety, sort of.
I don't know what.
At one point, the cunning is going to give this a bit of an OA boost, so it's kind of worth it. Continue to put a few points in phantasmal armor. Yes. And I'm not sure if we've done a Cronley run on this instance. Looks like we haven't, so let's see if we can get a Murderer's Breastplate or an Ascended Cask. That's an upgrade. Not holding out a lot of hope, but it's worth a quick run. Then we will see if we can maybe upgrade the Dreeg Pants. Nope. Murderer's Shoulders, which we're not interested in. Though. I think Dureni only drops the Ascended Shoulders. He doesn't drop anything else. But we'll still kill these mobs, and then we'll go back outside. Yep, Ascended Shoulders. Again with Mystic. Just anything else. Not anything else. Don't take that literally, game, but like, just give me something that has some defensive utility that's not complete garbage. Not asking for best in slot, just something. Sheltering of Protection. That's cold res. That's basically worthless. Protection is DA. I mean, could be worse, but yeah, no, these are absolute garbage. I did specify not complete garbage, though, Viley. That's what I get for not playing offline season, true, but I mean, the purpose of this is to do a fresh start, or as close to a fresh start as I can get without resetting blueprints and all the other stuff that I am never going to reset. So if someone's newer to the game and they're watching something like this, they get more of a realistic sense of what character progression looks like when you're not coming in with low car and everything else. Incendiary shoulder plates, not what we need. I mean, even if you're talking about regards, even with that bonus, I feel like Stormbox is still kind of underwhelming. It also doesn't look very chaosy, unfortunately, because of how like Stormbox versus the Tether displays, but relatively minor issue. Holy shit, Viley, that's a lot. Missed season 6 and 7 due to life and work. Hopefully season 8. Yeah, I did a purifier with regards, and actually it was you can go lightning or chaos. I went chaos with chaos mortars as well. It was fine, and I think you can do the lightning version as well if you want. It's just not amazing. I feel like the TDM is a bit of a trap in that it makes people think that Stormbox is going to be better than it is. Like it's still something. All right, Despair, have a good one. Thanks for dropping by. Alright, Dreeg Boss, you gonna give me something useful? Stalwart of Menhir's Wall. So that's bleed, reduced stun duration. I mean, it's the worst possible OA roll. We're going to try to get something better than that. Yeah, and if you see box that way, then I agree. It's fine. And yeah, I mean, it does have some electrocute dot, which is good, but Mystic of the Cabal. Yeah, sometimes farming is just pure pain. Void Soul, that sounds interesting, yeah. Yeah, because Regard is the it's a sword and gloves. You can do Void Soul. You could presumably even do Void Soul with the Chaos with the reduced cooldown conduit potentially. Though not having another item to increase your relative chaos conversion might render that not as strong. Rampage of Blood. No. Yeah, we're gonna keep going for a while because it is kind of important to upgrade our armor. And if we get a bunch of decent stuff around 55, 60, that's at least serviceable through endgame. Or through 94. G2, yeah, we're not quite going that short today. We'll at least make it to the 2-hour mark. Welcome in. Double rare pet mod is cursed. Throw it away. Stonehide is good. Of Blood is not. I really do want double useful, kind of. All right, we're going to compromise a little bit here. Where is the there we go. We are going to put it in the kind of ether between. We don't have item assistant on, so everything is just kind of sitting here. We'll put it in there. Then it's no longer on our character to curse us, and we'll see if this works. Shroud of Readiness. No. Alright, we're also going to really try our luck here and see if we get a Gargoyle Belt.
After all these centuries, the usurpers dare not even show their...
Yeah, I know, it's very much copium, but... I think they're supposed to be 100% within their group. Yeah, Violet. This was always a long shot, but and there is actually one possible totem spawn that sometimes you get lucky with gargoyles. Nope, not here. All right. We reset. Thunderstruck of Protection. I'm being extremely greedy here. But I think I'm going to limit myself to about 3 more runs and then Formidable of Attack done. Alright, most of these we sell. These we keep. Alright, so our OA roll is worse, but we do get DA, stun res, elemental res, and way more armor. I mean, it's a necessary improvement, I think, at this point. Keep the scaled hide. Alright, yeah, chaos res is down to 64. Again, not ideal. Maybe we take this Purging of Supremacy belt to fix our Chaos Res. I don't know. Like the Alchemist belt is really not that great. Plus 2 to new dodge justifiable ends is good. The Circuit Breaker is not bad, but we don't really want our health getting to 20% anyway. So yeah, even though this does... Yeah. I've tried farming living rings without much success. Maybe we'll do another run for that. Because that is always a good idea. But I've completely struck out on my living ring RNG thus far. Worst case, we get a few more blooms for when we need them. And living rings are typically one of my go-tos leveling a cold Spellbreaker. Vine ring. Friendly with Barahome. I thought about Namadea, but ultimately just went friendly. I tend to like the option of fighting Ravager. I don't always do it these days, but just for it to be there is a possibility. Charged of Celerity. Like, that's about as useless as it could possibly be. See totem, click totem unless you're on a specific farming route. Sheltering of Scorching. That's also about as useless as possible. We can also try Gloomwald as well. This is giving us Aether Res mostly, I think, Soul Warding. We might be able to get a better Gale Slice medal. So that could be on our agenda as well. All right, have a good night. Thanks for dropping by, Taylor. FOA tomorrow, indeed, indeed. One day that will be true. It's not good impervious. Let's go Gloomwald. Alright, quick try for a belt. I know, we're not actually going to get a gargoyle belt, but... See if the totem is here. Doesn't look like it is. And we'll try the Eldritch Gate quickly. Alright, so we have all the weapon pool skills now. Gargoyles. Drop chances from any of these individual, especially non-elite mobs, are not good, but... I mean, we kind of have to do it. Gargoyle Girdle, that's Oathkeeper, so... Nope.
Come, little human. I will make this quick.
Play Dervish and then it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, unless you need the conversion, but... Fair point. Alright, reset. I mean, seriously. One decent living ring for leveling. Apparently too much to ask. Okay, back to Barrowhome. Yeah, I wasn't planning on spending as much time today farming for gear upgrades, but we've just had very little luck. Eventually we got decent Dreek pants, but that's been about it. The Elena ring was decent. I was hoping for something a bit more defensive, but it works. And yeah, I guess we did upgrade our relic as well. Vine ring. Yeah, if your DA is all set, the HP augment is very strong. I tend to think that on balance the Soleil augment is better than the pure HP, but there are circumstances where that's not the case. We're not going to click the totem because the totem is not going to give us a living ring. Of course, apparently neither there's anything else, but so it goes. I think most of the time, not so much Violet, but possibly in some cases. Okay. Purging of Mending. It's not a good roll, but it's still an upgrade over what we have. We lose +2 to Nadala's justifiable ends, but we get way more poison res, we get some additional aether res, we get slow res, and we get +1 to Nightblade. So yeah, this wins. Yeah, when you factor in the percent, that seems possible. Okay, so now we have a Nightblade belt, we have a Nightblade relic, we have a Nightblade amulet. Oh, right. Sedina's no longer alive. I do one more attempt for a living ring for now. Ajax, welcome in. So, other than make sure you have a good connection for co-op, I'd say basic stuff with Grim Dawn. You want to focus on one main damage type, one or two main skills, and kind of just, it's better to be a master of one thing than a jack of all trades most of the time. Pay attention to your resistances, kind of standard ARPG stuff. As far as I don't have a ton of insights into kind of co-op play, but theoretically you could have someone stand more in the front and be tankier, and you have casters behind them and stuff along those lines. But that's less my specialty. But yeah, like, concentrate your focus on one damage type. Like this, there's no such thing. There are monsters that are resistant to damage, but there's no such thing as real immunity. So scaling damage is easier for one type. You should be able to use the same character in solo and in co-op. I would think, yeah. It's not that it's separate in terms of the. Well, okay. Only thing, if one of you has the, if some of you have the DLC and some of you don't, that's going to be a potential issue. But that's the only thing I can think of where you're going to maybe not be able to play something. Completely immune chaos crystals. Okay, but why are you fighting crystals as opposed to running away from them? I do agree with Morandale. Go in, have fun. If something's not working, most people are pretty friendly. Stalwart of Voidfire. Guys, come on. Give me something. Alright, we're going to, yeah, respecking is... Respecking, you can respec everything except your mastery selection. Oh, one other thing. Don't get intimidated by the devotion page. There is a search bar, so if you want to search for a damage type or something along those lines, you can kind of see which direction to go. and kind of approximate roughly what the right thing to do is. So yeah, use the search bar in the devotion page. It'll make it a little less intimidating. Okay, kill... Make sure there's no healers around. So I basically have to kill everyone. Resistant of the Cabal. Great. We were having absolutely zero luck in the Living Ring, Gale Slice. I mean, we got a Gargoyle Belt, so I guess that's some luck. Just not a good roll. Alright. I think this is it for me for Living Rings. I may do this run, do one more Gale Slice run. Well, maybe we can do a little more Gale Slice because Vigorous is nice, but thing is, we have the Aether Res from the belt, so Soul Warding is less important. So there's a lot more room for an improvement. The Gale Slice medal. So yeah, Gale Slice is one choice. The other option involves going into the Steps of Torment. And given the choice, I don't really want to be spending skeleton keys, which cost bloods, to farm a item, because you might not get the right one, you might not get a good roll. And if I can just kill a boss that drops something at least decent, I'd rather do that on a fresh start. Alright, so final location for the Silvaria. Alright, 64 blooms. So at some point we're going to be able to... Searing of Scorched Runes. I mean, again, it's not good. It does have a little bit of Pierce Res and Vit Res and Ellie Res. We lose Poison Res, but we can kind of afford to lose Poison Res because we have the belt. Scorched Runes also does give us health. I mean, this is... And it does... Scorched Runes is also percent Ellie, so... Like, this is still bad, but it's less bad. I mean, Searing... I'm not going to pretend to be happy about, but it's still an improvement for the build, so we are going to be equipping it. Okay, Harmonious of Mending Vine Ring. I mean, the resists on that are really, really nice, but... Oh, and Okay, this living ring is also 55, which means we can use it now, which is nice. Like, yeah, this isn't... This is worth saving as a leveling ring for something else, but we wouldn't use it. Yeah, that's fair, Morndell. That's why I think my view is there are probably 4 or 5 kind of basic principles that are good to know, like concentrating your damage and things like that, and then kind of beyond that, exploring is good. All right, Shield of Frostbite, level 55. So yeah, this is going to be a DPS upgrade. We're honored with Black Legion now. Grab a cold stone. Make sure it's going on the right thing. Yep, here we go. Alright, this is going to be a slight DPS increase. Let's see if we can, we had Gazer Eye on this, which we still kind of need. Corpse Dust. Where did our ring augments go? Okay, with 1 Gazer Eye left. Fair enough. And this is the lower level one we were taking off. Can also probably drop these here. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's a non-shared stash, so if we die, we're still in trouble, but... Aggressive of Arcane Balance isn't bad either. Alright, we're not gonna use like Plates of Valor in lieu of these Dreek Pants, so... Yeah, that sounds good, Ajax. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot to the game eventually, but you can kind of bide your time and slowly add that. All right, let's this we want to 12. We can put more points in it eventually, but keep this at soft cap. Eventually, we'll want more in Star Pact, and
Stay strong.
gosh, there's okay. We actually can hard cap Shadow Strike, right? Eventually, so maybe we do that. It's going to be a substantial damage upgrade, especially if we can start getting more in energy regen. Alright, let's go back into Elite. We kind of got everything we need to add some power to our character for now. And thanks for the follow as well. Oh, yeah, we've done all this respecking and everything, so now we can actually use our Blade Spirits. There is a Shadow Strike skip that you can use to just go through most of this area, but I don't know how to do it, so. Alright, now we can see Totem Click Totem. And I forgot, but at some point we'll also try farming Gale Slice again. So we do have some more gear pieces we can upgrade. So as much as I was kind of hoping to get more levels in today and not focus on the gear upgrading, it might end up being a necessary evil. I do think we'll probably end up going another 15, 20 and then raiding somebody. I usually go a little shorter on Thursdays, and then Saturday we'll have a longer session. Hopefully, send investment, Vit to Elemental. No, that's Panetti's. That's worthless. At least for us. Apparently Panetti's is actually much better on this patch. What am I? Almost got lost. I'm just so not used to doing this on Elite. But again, see Totem, Totem. Pervious Ugnenbog Girdle of Mending. It's actually good impervious. So yeah, these boots we need for Chaos Res, and they're still kind of okay, so they don't offer too much else. A little bit of elemental damage. So that is something to look into replacing. Go back to Cronley's hideout. Try to get a good Ascended Cask and a good Murderer's Breastplate. Based on how RNG's gone today, I don't have high hopes, but... we have to try. I mean, we're level 60, and you don't really want to be running around with level 30 armor at level 60 if you can help it. It's incendiary. I mean, it's great that he drops the Ascended shoulder plates, but, so... Clerics of Squalls, we lose a tiny bit of poison res, but we get more armor, some health, OADA. Yeah, poison res is fine. These weren't terrible for like a low level glove, but alright, consecrated wrappings, you go on. Alright, swap these out. Your armor rating goes up a bit, OADA go up a bit, so yeah, I mean those aren't great, but they are technically a gear upgrade, and gloves can be tough to get. So we'll go with that. Mystic of the Aether again with the completely worthless affixes for our build. At this point, we might as well just kill Cronley, because he's here. We have nullification, so we can nullify his bubble. Alright, so one quick thing we are going to do after we do this Cronley run. I absolutely hate spending 90,000 iron on a faction writ, but Black Legion augments, weapon, and armor are probably the most important to have access to, because they cover the most. Dervishes of Protection. Hold on, let's see. So Blade Shadow Strike. So it's Nadala's Hidden Hand, which doesn't do anything for us. We lose a tiny bit of OA. We get way more DA. We get a bunch of extra armor. We lose some Pierce Res, lose some Bleed Res, get some Vit Res. Major armor upgrade. Let's see. Is our Bleed Res 62 over? Oh, yeah. Alright, we're still going to try to find any more elites in this area. But, Merciless of attack. That's Pierce Poison Elemental Res. I think that's better. One more possibility of an elite being up here, but... Resistant of Scorched Runes. Interesting. Is Poison Res. I don't know that they're better, though. Alright, but we are going to go to buy the faction writ from Black Legion because I think they're the most important faction to get to Revered as quickly as possible. It's just... this hurts to do on a... you're only ever going to buy these on a fresh character, because look at this. 50% rep gain for 88,000 iron. If you're Revered, you get 200% rep gain for 13,000 iron. Like, this just absolutely hurts your soul to look at, but what can you do? Alright. Alright, we're going to take the Merciless of Attack. We'll, we don't have a ton of Chains of Oleron. We probably have enough that we don't need to do this, but we'll pull it off the old one. We'll destroy that item because it's not getting used again. Alright, so armor 1185. That goes up to 1272. Our poison... our Pierce and Poison Res are basically fine on Ultimate with this gear, which is huge. Bleed Res is good, Vit Res is good. Aether and Chaos will need some help, but making some big time improvements in Res. We're gonna go back. We're going to keep trying to get the Ascended Cask because I'd like to just kind of be done farming items for a while and have decent armor and everything. Not exactly the most exhilarating content, but because if you're a fresh start and you don't want your character to die, especially you're playing hardcore, this is the wise thing to do, even if it's not always fun. Yeah, unfortunately, I think he only dropped his shoulders, but... Yep. Always grab the extra dynamites and such you see lying around here. The number of times I've seen Mystic as a prefix on this item is absolutely disgusting. Alright, let's try this one more time. And then I think I'm going to call it. We have made some good progress today. We upgraded our relic. We got the amulet. We have 2 level 55 spectral longswords. This is a usable living ring. These pants are an upgrade. We got the gargoyle belt. These gloves, Squalls is not great, but I mean, there's still an armor and resist improvement over what we had. So, looking on the bright side of things there. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Last Cronley run, and then we'll find someone to raid. So, does anyone know how much longer Rainin's going to be going for? Because I think he's been on for a while. Unsure. At least the Cronley runs are getting us closer to Revered with Devil's Crossing. They have some value. All right, we'll go raid Rainin then. You know, I'm very much in the one more turn mode, but one last Cronley run for the stream. I just literally anything usable at this point I'm willing to settle for. Mystic is not usable, and of the Aether is not usable. I would take good Impervious of the Aether at this point, because at least that has resists on it that I can take advantage of. Lots of Incendiary casks. Ascended casks, not so much. I mean, I'm at the willing to take anything that's not completely useless phase. So like one useful affix I would take. But it just feels so bad to take useless affixes just to get the armor upgrade. Stalwart of Readiness. I mean, I'm still going to kill all the mobs here, but we have a usable item. I typically kill him on normal and elite DO, and make the deal with him on ultimate, but that's more just speed leveling strategies. I just forgot to kill him on elite, so that's why he's alive. All right, so impervious of heroism. So we are gonna lose some Pierce Res, which means we need Black Legion augments. Yeah. I don't love this trade, but we're still gonna make it because it's pretty it's a pretty low level impervious roll. So Stalwart of Readiness. All right, yeah, we've like 2k OA, 1700 DA. We also get some more Pierce Res if we put more in Phantasmal Armor, which we'll do at some point. For now, let's actually put points in Iskandra's for the energy regen. We'll eventually Star Pact, Inner Focus, and all this other stuff. But so that's a good stopping point for today. I'm going to just paste in the Grim Tools for where we are now, and we'll be continuing this character on Saturday morning. Like usually you're only going to be farming on ultimate anyway. This is just, you know, fresh start. You're kind of you're going to be more interested in maybe getting some gear. You might need MIs. All right, so made some good farming progress today. Got 8 levels, +1 Nightblade Relic, Nightblade Belt, reasonable Elena's Necklace, usable Living Ring at least, and some more armor. So appreciate everyone hanging out. Like I said, continuing on Saturday, and let's go say hi to Rainin.